Hello, my dear curious learners. I welcome you all on English with Chahar sir with a comprehensive series to decode the literary terms and figures of speech. Before I begin, the same hackneyed request to subscribe, like, and share the video as much as you can to spread the light of learning. So, friends, we have been going through a comprehensive series, and in this series, we have completed a few literary terms. And today, I am going to deal with another literary terms, and that is dramatic monologue. So, today, we are going to deal with dramatic monologue. Okay, dramatic monologue. Let me first clear the structure of the word. Dramatic, you can easily understand that this as the word drama. Okay, and mono means single, that is one, that is one, and log is dialogue or speaker. We can say speaker. So from this, it is clear that this is the literary term in which we are going to have a single speaker and who keeps on uttering, keeps on speaking all through the poem. And we also have here some imaginary speakers. Okay, so this is the simple meaning of this term dramatic monologue. So let's begin it without losing any time. A dramatic monologue is a speech given by a single actor on stage. Okay, single actor, as I have told you. Actor, or we can say character, because we are dealing with drama, so better we use the word character. Okay, single character on the stage. Term has several meanings and is associated with speeches given by single characters in fiction, poetry, and theatre. But mostly this is used in poetry and drama as well. So here dramatic monologue we are going to study as a form of poetry. Okay. The more specific definition of the term is related to poetry, as I told you, poetry, okay, and stage, single character performances of poetic theatre, poetic drama. Indeed, during the Victorian era, Robert Browning and other poets took the stylized language of monologue out of the theatre entirely and giving it a new life in dramatic monologue. So that is, these poets almost imitated theatre, that is drama, and they use the technique in their poems, and that's why the poem is called dramatic monologue, in which the poets spoke in the voices of fictional or historical figures. But friends, before we go any further, let me clear the seeds of dramatic monologue. The seeds of this term were sown during 17th century. And by whom? By John Donne. John Donne, a metaphysical poet. Metaphysical poet. So, friends, if we go back during the Jacobean period and go through the poems which were composed by John Donne, a metaphysical poet, we can easily find the ingredients or the seeds of this genre in those poems. So, whatever technique Brownie is going to use, the technique was already used by John Donne, but unfortunately, the genre was not recognized and the identity was imparted by Robert Brownie during the Victorian age, that is 19th century. In a standard theatrical monologue, an actor gives an extended speech. Extended means long speech. On a stage within the context of a play, dramatic monologues, according to the strictest definition, present a character. Now, this is the concept. Present a character on the stage alone without larger story built around that character. So, dramatic monologue as a term can be used more broadly as well and sometimes simply describe a standard theatrical monologue or soliloquy. Okay, soliloquy. Dramatic monologue is also known as a persona poem. Okay, so this is another title or another name we can give to this term, that is persona poem. So if somebody asks you what is a persona poem, then we can easily say that persona poem is nothing but a dramatic monologue. A dramatic monologue is when person speaks to an audience, expresses his or her innermost thoughts and feelings. Speech is usually for an extended period of time, not just a few lines. Although a dramatic monologue is similar to a soliloquy, they differ. Now, this is an important point. What is the difference between dramatic monologue and soliloquy? So, what is the difference? A dramatic monologue has an audience, while soliloquy does not have any audience. That is, in dramatic monologue, no doubt there is one speaker, okay, one speaker, but there are listeners, and listeners are present. In soliloquy, there is again one speaker, but no listener, but no listener. Okay, no listener according to the speaker, right? Actually, listener may be present in both the cases, but here the speaker is conscious of the listener, but here the speaker is not conscious of the presence of the listener. So that is the basic difference between dramatic monologue and soliloquy. This should also be clear to you. Dramatic monologues are common in poetry, plays, and also novels. But mostly this is related to poetry, as I have already told you. In novels, dramatic monologues are used to help tell the story. and to convince the reader of a character's thoughts and feelings. In poetry and plays, dramatic monologue are more obviously the state how the character is thinking and feeling. Some examples of dramatic monologues includes Lord Alfred Tennyson's Ulysses. Okay, these are the Victorian poets. Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, a beautiful poem. Sylvia Plath's Daddy. In all of these examples, a character is speaking for an extended amount of time and also reveals thoughts and feelings. These are the initial examples. And monologue and dramatic monologue. Okay, there is also a difference between monologue and dramatic monologue. So here three terms are clear, soliloquy is clear. Now we are going to deal with monologue and dramatic monologue. Monologue is a speech delivered by one character in play, movie, other performance or in literature where the character expresses his or her thoughts aloud. Monologues can be directed either towards other characters themselves or audience. The purpose of monologue can be different from providing insight into the character's thoughts, okay, an idea into the character's thought, what the character is thinking, or emotions to advancing the plot. So monologue is basically used for two purposes. Either through monologue we can find an idea into the thoughts of the characters, or we can get some assistance or help to advance the plot. But when we come to dramatic monologue, a dramatic monologue, on the other hand, is specific type of monologue found typically in poetry. Okay, so this thing typically in poetry. Mostly it is associated with poetry and also in prose and drama. It involves a single character who is not the writer, speaker speaking to a silent audience. That is, audience is present. Okay, audience is present. This is very important thing. The audience is present, but the audience remains silent all through the poem during the course of the utterance. The character reveals aspects of their personality while describing a particular situation or series of events. So is basically the subject of dramatic monologue. Either the revelation of the personality of the character or the description of some situation or some series of events. Focus of dramatic monologue. What is the focus of dramatic monologue? Is more on the character's personal views and experiences and less on advancing the storyline. It is clear. Monologue also helps in advancing the plot or advancing the story. But dramatic monologue has nothing to do with the advancement of the storyline, and it is restricted or limited to the expression of the character's personal views or experiences the character has undergone during his lifetime. So that is the major difference between dramatic monologue and only monologue. I think clear. Now we move further. Characteristics of dramatic monologue. Okay, now we find some important features which we find in these kind of poems. As a distinct literary form, primarily found in poetry, possesses several definitors. First is single speaker. Okay, only one speaker. Silent audience is there. Insight into the mind of the speaker. What does it mean? That means the readers actually. The readers finds an opportunity, finds an opportunity to go inside the thought process, inside the thought process of the character. Okay, so we get a chance to enter into the mind of the speaker. Psychological portrait is there because this is the first deals with the personality. Okay, so personality, implicit narrative. We have two types: implicit or explicit. Implicit, that is not clear, actually, not clear. Something is hidden. Dramatic context is there, situation is there, language and style, and irony. So these are the main features of dramatic monologues. You should keep these features in your mind because such kind of questions are often asked in the examinations. Okay, the paper setter would ask you which of them is not a characteristic or feature of a dramatic monologue. So, until unless you have these features clear to your mind, you are not able to give the answer of the question. Now, I have chosen 10 famous dramatic monologues which have been written during the course of English literature. And these have really been very popular. These have really been very, very popular. So we will just take them one by one. Porphyria's Lover by Robert Browning. It was written in 1836. Okay. Dark, it is called Dark Monologue. It is called Dark Monologue. Speaker recounts the nights he murdered Porphyria, his lover, to preserve a perfect moment forever. So, if you have read this poem, it's a very interesting poem, and it's also a representative of the dramatic monologue where a lover murders his beloved, just hoping that the death of the beloved will make their love eternal. Okay, so Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. This is also a good poem, and this is based on legends. Legendary hero Ulysses is there. Trojan War, actually, and he returns from the Trojan War, and there he portrays Ulysses' unyielding quest for knowledge, search for knowledge, deep longing for the sea and exploration, and so on and so. So this is also where Ulysses keeps on speaking all through the poem. Okay. Ulysses is the speaker here all through the poem, and last Duchess. Okay, that is the most famous poem, most famous dramatic monologue. Okay, most famous dramatic monologue. This is written, I think, 52 lines, 1842. Duke of Ferrara. Keep this name in your mind. Duke of Ferrara, while showing a portrait of his deceased wife, deceased means dead, dead wife. A very popular poem. You must have gone through it during your graduation. And Soliloquy of Spanish Cloister by Robert Browning. That is also a good poem. Okay? Monologue captures the envious and spiteful thoughts of a Spanish monk secretly harboring hatred for a fellow monk. Browning explores themes of okay, religious hypocrisy and personal malice, ill will hidden beneath a facade of piety. So, these are the four very popular monologues: Porphyria's Lover, Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson, My Last Duchess. That is very, very popular, okay, and you should keep this in your mind. And the fifth one is Bishop orders his tomb at St. Prague's Church by Robert Browning. You're observing that most of the dramatic monologues have been composed by Robert Browning. So you can say that Robert Browning is the leader, champion, champion of dramatic monologue. So I have given a short summary. A corrupt and worldly bishop on a deathbed instructs his sons to build an elaborate tomb for him. Okay, uh, and monologue exposes his earthly vanities, his dubious spiritual beliefs, and his manipulative nature. So, being uh, a bishop, actually, he does not need to have any kind of worldly cravings and worldly greeds. Still, he instructs his son to build an elaborate tomb for him. So, this is paradoxical. And I must say, the dramatic monologues have the paradoxical, uh, paradoxical speeches or the satires. Fra Lippo Lippi. This is again by Robert Browning. The city guards who caught him wandering at night. This is a Renaissance painter, Fra Lippo Lippi, about his views on art and life. A poem discussing the conflict between artistic freedom and clerical expectations. And then we come to the modern age love song of J. Alfred Prufrock by T.S. Eliot 1915. Eliot is also popular if we talk about dramatic monologue, and this poem is also a wonderful expression, a wonderful dramatic monologue that is written by T.S. Eliot. And a monologue of the universe whole of the universe by Wallace Stevens, okay, 1954, American poet. Lady Lazarus by Sylvia Plath and Ellen West by Frank Whitard, 1977. So that is, we started from Victorian age. We started from Victorian age and we have reached to modern and even post-modern. Okay, so it means that dramatic monologue has its journey beginning from Victorian age and reaching to postmodern time because 1965 and 77 this is the period of the postmodern age. After World War II, we think that the postmodern age started. So these are the 10 very popular and important dramatic monologues. So you should just take the screenshots and note them down and try to go through them if it is possible for you. इनको आप पढ़ सकते हैं रीड कर सकते हैं. So this is all about dramatic monologue, friends. I have tried to clear the important points of these literary terms, and I'm sure you must have understood. ऐसा लगता है कि आपको ये समझ में आया होगा. मैं एक बार फिर इन स्लाइड्स को चेंज कर रहा हूँ सो दैट यू कैन टेक द स्क्रीन शॉट्स. आप इनकी स्क्रीन शॉट ले सकते हैं एंड कीप देम सेफ और note them down in your notebook they will be really very, very helpful for you when you will appear in your examination. So, this is all about dramatic monologue. So, I hope you must have liked it. Thank you very much and keep learning, keep working hard to translate your dreams into reality. And with the same hope, take care and like and subscribe the channel and spread it, share it as much as you can to spread the light of learning. See you again with another literary term or another lesson. Till then, take care